You're listening to REIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out REIARadio.com. Welcome to REIA Radio. This is the Real Estate Rundown with Andy Corey,
Owen Dasher,
and Ted Kosh. Bringing the trifecta into the room.
That was a little surprise out for either listeners. We got a third leg of the stool here. That's maybe not a good analogy, but three-headed dragon. I don't know, something cool that has three. But Andy Corey in the house. You've got an upcoming the REIA Mastery Series little event that you were a part of. Your speaking gig is coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah,
so we'll see how that goes.
How it is? Okay, so this
Jory does a good job editing it. Don't worry.
But let me ask you this: this was kind of your first, public presentation, room of 100 people like that to talk about it. What was going through your mind when you got asked? And then how was the worry and everything else leading up to it? And then give us a post-mortem here.
I remember when you text me about it. I think I was driving to a wedding or something like that. And I got a last-minute invite to a buddy's wedding. And I was driving there and I saw your text and I was just like, oh, no. And
panic set in.
I called Alex and I was like, I sent Alex a screenshot of your text. And I was like, I just said like, oh, and and I called Alex and I was like, so I'm not going to do this. And he was like, well, I think you should absolutely do this. And he's like, why would you say no to that? And I was like, well, it's like, I didn't even know it was going to be an hour and 15 minutes. When you told me it was going to be an hour and 15 minutes, like 2 weeks later, it was really smart for you to tell me.
Hey, it's on a need to know basis. We got to get your commitment before we tell you what you signed up for, actually.
I was like driving to this wedding, coming up with excuses in my head of what I was going to tell you of why I wasn't going to do it. I was like, oh, we have a thing that day. I was trying to think of some reason not to do it. And then Alex was like, you have to do it. And I was like, okay, sounds good.
Big brother Alex.
Yeah. He was just kind of Alex Corey. Yeah. He was just kind of like, why wouldn't you do this? And then I was like, yeah, you're right. Why would I say no to you guys? Like, that's a great opportunity. So prepping for it, like, I don't know how you prep for like an hour and 15-minute speech. Like, the problem is like, I literally don't have enough time to like practice it. Like, because every time you like one run through is like an hour and 15 minutes. And so it's
like reading the Bible. You gotta do it in bite-sized pieces.
Well, I was talking to my wife about it and I was like, how would you feel if I read it to you? And she was like, the whole thing.
And she's like, God, this is like War and Peace.
Yeah. And so I did it. I was just like, no, you're good. I'll read it to Augie. And then like Augie was like, I'm not doing this. And so nobody my wife would have.
You got to record yourself doing it.
Yeah, nobody was out there to have my back on it. Yeah, so I should have just recorded it. But then I just basically wrote up an outline and was like, all right, we're just going to run. And I was freaking out before it. And
Were you?
Oh, yeah.
You were
Ted
paced.
could tell I was freaking out.
I saw it.
And I rolled up to Owen beforehand and I was like, you were like laughing and you were like joking around and I was like dead face, just like, this is either going to be too short or too long. So like, and you were kind of laughing and you're making a joke and I was like, no, listen to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm freaking out right now.
You had that look. I could tell you were not kidding at that
I was
point.
just like, I'm afraid right now. But no, I mean,
the feedback was good.
That's good. That's great. I got some questions afterwards. Yeah, I was happy with it. It's different giving a speech to that many people. I've done like I worked for, a couple large companies, internships and full-time jobs. So I've done like the presentation where you present to like 30 people or 50 people or whatever, but it's like 7 minutes and you have slides. And
yeah, you didn't have slides, did you?
No, I didn't know we could have slides. You text me and you're like, you send me your slides. And I was like, we can have slides. And that was like 2 days before.
Okay. To be fair, I will fall on the sword with this one. I did a very poor job of preparing you because I was like, it was a week before and I texted Ted and I go, have you heard from Andy at all? He's like, no, I would like you reached out to him. I thought you were. And so I was like, yeah, I probably should check in and see how the speech is going. I feel bad.
No, you're good. And to be honest, like I hate the whole death by PowerPoint thing. Not that the other presentations were like that. They were, awesome. I feel like if I had a PowerPoint, I probably would have read the lines.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I felt like it was a little more candid not having it, but
I thought it was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And the content was money.
Yeah, I tried to just make it like, as impactful as possible for who was listening. It went a little long, so I didn't hit at the end the stuff I wanted to hit at the end, but it wrapped up nicely. The weird thing about talking to that many people is like when you're having a one-on-one conversation or even like a one-on-two conversation, you can kind of read the room. and like, I don't want to sound like a psychopath here, but kind of like chameleon the conversation to like where the audience is like reacting to it and stuff. When you have like 100 people you're staring at for that long, you're getting different visual face reactions on everything. And you like, I mean, you can get lost out there. Like there was a couple times where I was
you
like,
need to just focus on a couple people in the front row.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are paying the most attention and they care the most if they're sitting up front.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm up there speaking, I don't do like presentations per se, but when I'm doing those, I literally will look at the people in the front row and try to like focus on them and look at their reactions. And I don't look at more than 3 people the whole time.
Yeah, that's smart. Because I did not do that. I was looking like basically like one at a time, like every single person. Like, is this good? Is this bad? I mean, I noticed you guys had like that little slight like talking point during. You like talked to each other something during it. I thought you were like trying to give me some kind of like information.
Like, oh god, this is going bad. Abort.
Well, that's where I was like, hey, what's up? Like this is terrible. But no, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the questions I got afterwards. I mean, those people like really went. I got some really good like very specific questions about property management, which I thought was cool. I wanted to hang out longer, but I just had like
had a lot going on.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on that day, and I had my anniversary that night, so I left work early. So I was just trying to cram.
Well, no, like I remember I texted you that night, and I'm like, "Oh, don't respond."
Yeah, I know. I saw your text. I was like, "Thank you." Off to the side.
Sneak to the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. I got to text a guy back.
Oh my god,
this is really
well, I tell you what, though, everybody that was speaking had their kind of their own thing, and there was always, everybody had their own feedback. But at the whole time that we're doing that, we had like fill-in questions and things to fill in gaps, and we never really used any of those.
No,
anything. We actually didn't have time for anything to be brought up because everybody was like, "Man, the hour and 15 minutes just flew by."
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I never really thought about trying to prepare and practice an hour and 15-minute speech, but that would be really difficult just because of the sheer time involvement. And anyway, so I totally understand about that. But this is funny because I got asked to speak at a kind of a multifamily specific meetup in Des Moines. And this is in like mid-September, right? So I got 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks or whatever. And so I finally found the text thread. Remember me telling you about this? Because I got invited, but I didn't know the person personally that invited me. And I'm like, how did they get a hold of me? Was it text? Was it Facebook, Instagram? Sure. So I'm looking through all my socials, my messages, and finally I figured it out. So sorry about that, Jennifer. But the funny thing is, I'm like, okay, so can you tell me kind of what the format is? Do I need to bring slides, this and that? She's like, no, you can just send me like a bio, and then you can either do slides or not. And it's usually 20 minutes, and then we have a Q&A afterwards. And I'm like, 20 minutes? I'm like, how am I supposed to do 20 minutes? That's I'll just be getting started.
Yeah, you can't even tell your story.
Yeah, you're like, just listen to one of my podcasts. You'll get the idea of how long. Just pack a lunch. Yeah, because she's like, well, let me know what you want to talk about. And I'm like, I'm really gonna have to shorten my intro if it's just 20 minutes.
You can't get into any. I mean, honestly, I ran out of time. I literally didn't have enough time. And like at first I was like, an hour and 15 minutes is crazy. Like, what are they doing? This is like they're putting me out here to like
the real estate commission required that for credits.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you had to do what you had to do. But I think now it's like that was like what you needed. Because if you gave me 20 minutes to talk, there's no substance.
No, not at all.
I mean, I was getting into like how long you should be waiting to respond to a guest card. Like, and that's really the information if you're going from 5 to 25 units, what you want to know.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I can talk about like overarching like org structures and the minute software details and stuff. But it's like, if I really like want to talk to those people, they need to be knowing the absolute basics, which is what I was trying to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like, I'm glad I had ample time to do it. Cause I could blow 15 minutes on leasing.
Right.
And that's not still, I could probably an hour on leasing if we really wanted to talk about it. So no, I thought it was great. Like I think they should be like an hour and 15 minutes.
I'll be honest with you, and nobody speaking would agree to it, but if I really had my way, I would have like had everybody's topic be a 2-hour block. Really allow a deep dive, because when we were planning this event, when Owen and I sat down, like one of our pet peeves that we agreed on was all the breakout sessions really were so surface level, and you just literally got to hear the person's story that most like you already knew if you're in there and you looked up to the person, and you never got into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah. And almost with like a 2-hour session, you can almost break it up to like 2 55-minute sessions and have like a 10-minute block in between. for like bathroom and snacks and stuff. Honestly, that's good for a speaker standpoint too, because like I had no idea where I was at. When you gave me the 10-minute mark, I was like, oh God, like I have like 2 hours left of like stuff I want to talk about here. Like not actually, but like that 10-minute marker came so fast.
We felt it always came fast too. The whole time we're like, was that an hour?
I know. It was crazy.
You almost next time I would say like give a 30-minute, like when you're at the 30-minute mark, I give a 30-minute mark so you have like, so they can kind of track as they're doing this talk of where I'm at.
That's fair.
Am I halfway done or not?
Yeah, because when you're all of a sudden when you're 10 minutes done, you're like, whoa shit, like I need to like throw a bunch. If I'm going too long, I need to throw a bunch in. If I'm too short, great. But no, I think like having those markers in between, I don't know, be helpful to me. Then you kind of know where you're at. You know if you're getting lost or not. You know how to like budget for time. I don't know. Maybe I should have prepared more. That's probably what I should have done.
Fun fact, we got when the hotel manager, I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but he came out. What was the final tally on the coffee? It's just just the coffee and water were like $700.
I don't remember how much specific dollar. Yeah, we had $700 in coffee and tea and lemonade.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, that was we definitely learned some stuff.
We went through 7 containers, not pitchers, industrial containers of coffee.
Oh man,
everyone was just jamming, dude.
Yeah, it was like it's real estate, you know.
Yeah, everyone's just. It was a great.
If the bar was open the whole time, it would have been old fashions, I'm sure.
Oh man, people would have been carried out of there.
yeah. Actually, it probably wouldn't have gone as well at least until the end. It was a great energy, though. I mean, like everyone was like, people came up to me afterwards, was asking questions. I came in like halfway through Jerry's talk, and I was just out, like I was in the back, just like pacing, like losing my mind, just like oh God. And Colin was like trying to tell me like some like Eastern breathing exercises or something like that.
This sounds right.
He's like, you're totally fine. Just go over here and like 1 minute in or 8 seconds in or something like that. And I did that. It didn't help at all. And I ate like half of one of those sandwiches and almost threw up in the bathroom. It was a great time.
But anyway, 10 stars would do it again.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Based on the podcast and speaking at the event, has that turned any business for you? Has it brought anything to the table? Has it changed you in any way? Has it helped?
So as far as business brought to the table, I think we got like 40 units so far from it, which is great. Like that's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I thought we'd lose units when I came on to talk, but we're positive 40 right now. Some people still might fall off, but yeah. And then I got like another 18 coming on at the end of September. So we'll be like probably, I don't know. Hopefully we get like over 100 doors from it, which is crazy. I mean, yeah. Shout out to you guys. I didn't know. Wow. You know what's crazy? Ever since I went on the podcast and ever since I did that talk, I've gotten like 80 Facebook friend requests and like 40 LinkedIn connections and like a bunch of people following me on Instagram. That was a little more jarring.
Listen, man, I feel like you're just bragging now because I haven't even gotten that yet out of speaking. I've been on here for 4 years.
Well, yours has probably been like a slow roll over time. And once again, like I said last night, you're part of like the Omaha Real Estate Rat Pack, where like you're with like you guys are in the gang. So like you like because every single person that friends me on Facebook or matches me on LinkedIn is already connected with you two. It's like you guys are like the connector there. You're the only. They're one of like we have like 8 common connections. It's always you both.
John's doing a good job on LinkedIn for me.
at the very least. But no, so that's like that was kind of crazy. That was a little jarring. I haven't even responded to all of those yet. My Facebook, I don't post anything on there. So I was like, I don't know what you're going to do with this. But
yeah, you have like your college graduation picture on there.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have a picture of me and my wife from like 5 years ago. But yeah, no, it's been great for that. I think in terms of like me, like, and it's been great to be able to listen to myself talk. Like I hate the sound of my own voice, but I don't know, just listening to the whole story, kind of hearing it out on the interview. And then I guess I'll get to listen to the speech now of the talk I gave. It's made me a lot more conscious of, I guess, what I'm saying, but it's also kind of made me more confident in what I'm saying too, because like I listen to it and I'm like, oh, this is solid. Like I agree with what I'm saying. Like,
well, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you kind of talk out of your ass and like, but I listen to the whole thing and I'm like, no, this is solid. I stand behind everything. Like I'm super happy with it. And I appreciate you guys, you know, like giving me like the podium to talk. Like I said before, I've never done anything like this before. I never really thought I would.
You know what's weird? I will say, and I will move on from this all about us portion of the episode here. Yeah. But I thought when we did your podcast interview, which was, I'm not sure which episode, but we can link to it in the show notes. It was like the easiest one of the probably top 5 easiest I've ever done.
Well, yeah, I talked interviews the whole time. I'm sorry about
that.
Well,
no, not only that, but I do want to say, like, you took it in a conversational way through the entire story that was really engaging. and explained a lot of really good detail with it. And it ended up being exactly the time that we usually spend anyway. It was great. We didn't have to prompt you.
Yeah.
So good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's fast forward a little bit. So a couple weeks have gone by since the event. What's new and exciting in your world? Have you done anything cool in the last couple of weeks? Got new clients, new projects going on?
Yeah, just work, dude. So after the podcast, I guess we took on like 300 new doors, and then and then we're taking on 231 on Tuesday, some light tech product, and then working on getting a couple hundred more signed here. We'll probably take on November 1st. So I mean, just like a lot of like what I said, I cannot stay for like the REIA event. Like I'm just like it's just chaos of hiring people, putting people in positions.
Hey, okay, let me ask you this. So do you have a rule of thumb ish where you're like, okay, we are bringing on 100 new doors. What does that mean for hiring? Like at what point do you need to hire another maintenance person or another, assistant property manager or whatever, somebody in the support staff?
Yeah. So these are all institutional deals. So they all have dedicated payroll. And so for every 200 units, we have a property manager and a maintenance guy. We like to keep the group small like that, especially those institutional deals. If it's like a 400 unit complex, which we haven't taken on yet, we'll have like a bigger staff. But I like to kind of parse them out where if it's 200 unit buildings, we have a property manager and a maintenance guy. The next 100 unit building we get a property manager and a maintenance guy. And then we add another 100 units onto that to make it full, just so it's more modular and stackable. I don't like adding more staff. I kind of talked about that in the speech. I don't need to go into it about just the accountability that brings. But all these deals are institutional. They all have payroll pass through. So we just basically hire the set staff that we're allocated to hire based on the budget of the properties.
No, okay, let me ask you something. So let's say you've got a new institutional, basically property that you're going to take over. And let's say it's a couple hundred units, and you know that means 2 maintenance people and 2 property managers, right?
Maintenance guy and a property manager for 200 doors.
For 200.
Yep.
Okay. I missed that part. All right. So you have to hire those 2. Now let's say you're the third party, right? An ownership group is hiring you to manage the property. You say, okay, yes, that means we're going to have to hire 2 people dedicated to your property alone. And when you say that's pass through, that means if I'm the owner, I hire Corey Management and I say, all right, this is 200 units. We want you to take it over September 1st. You say, great. Here's our payroll costs. Mm-hmm. Is that how that works? Yep, and then they just pay you directly for that in addition to the management fee, correct?
Yep. So basically on deals like that, there's very little extra fees. The management fee is basically like the juice, the profits for me. Mm-hmm. And it just purely falls down to the bottom line because the payroll costs we do like a reimbursable payroll where basically every time we run payroll, we reimburse payroll from the property. And then when I build out that proposal, it'll say like property manager payroll not to exceed X, maintenance tech payroll not to exceed X. And then so you can build that in. When you're buying like a larger, like 100+ unit, like one complex deal, you're typically baking payroll into your underwriting anyway, both maintenance and managerial. And like you're budgeting anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,500 a door. You can get to like $700 to $900 a door with like a ton if you stack more units onto it. But then obviously like, it gets harder. But that just goes into like your per door expenses for when you're underwriting.
Now, okay, so let's real world this. Let's say I buy a property, 200 units. I want to hire Corey Management to handle it. You're like, here's the payroll associated with this. What if I sell that property a year later? What happens to the people that were dedicated to that project in particular? Do you have to let them go?
Yeah, either I find a place for them or I don't. And that happens all the time. So when you get into
especially like Des Moines, we talked about there's a lot of turnover and management turnover.
Management companies, so we're big enough now where we haven't lost any big deals, but nothing's sold yet. But we've had either turnover or whatever. We've had situations where we've restructured things and we had to find places. We've been able to find places for people. But yeah, if you're buying a property from one of the bigger like BH, Artisan, Monarch, typically the staff, you're interviewing the staff at the sale and seeing if they fit into your mold for your piece. Otherwise, they're probably going to get let go if they can't place them.
Oh, okay. So you're saying when you're getting ready to transition over to Corey Management, you will go to the existing payroll from a different management or ownership group. Mm-hmm. Do you talk to them first? Like, or do you check with the management company?
Typically, the management company reaches out to us.
Oh, they do?
They're the broker. Will say, hey,
that's
look,
interesting.
They need to place some people. Mm-hmm. And it happens all the time, too, where like I know enough brokers now in both Des Moines and Omaha where I get hit up all the time, not all the time, but every once in a while where a property is about to trade, the broker will hit me up and say, hey, management staff is, needs to find a home. Do you have any slots? And then
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, because if there's not a spot for it, there's not a spot for it. And that goes into like the different types of management companies. When you're working for somebody that just does that institutional payroll, you filter around to a lot of different companies. That's why when you see resumes, you'll see like somebody worked for like 7 different giant management companies. It's because the property kept getting traded and they kept getting inherited.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, if you're looking to hire for a position like that and you see that on a resume, you don't automatically just chuck it because you're like, oh, they're a job hopper. There's probably a story. There's like a credit report.
Yeah, there's context. You call them and you go through it and stuff. And a lot of times it is, the property got traded, I got inherited, got traded again, I got inherited. Especially when you're working with these bigger recycled capital groups that sell every 3 to 5 years, like all the time.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. We've never talked to anybody about that kind of aspect of property management.
Most of the aspects of property management when it comes to Andy, we haven't talked about.
Right. That's true. That's true. So, Ted, what's been going on in your week this week or last couple of weeks here?
Just I've been revisiting back with the coaching programs. Actually, remember, and we had Andrew Devlin on the podcast.
Yep.
I'm actually having a one-on-one with him at 1:00 today.
Oh, that's cool.
And because he really specializes in working with business owners and talking about love, money, and business.
Huh.
So I thought it'd be a kind of a fun little conversation. I'm sitting on a ton of time with my Jason Trees coaching.
Oh, are you?
And so I was like, hey, can we have like an hour? I'd love to kind of talk about relationships. And
did he give you an attaboy for putting on the event finally?
Yeah, that was, you got to remember that event has been on my to-do list or my goal list for 3 years.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that was on my big goals. I put
your BHAG.
In November when I was putting my stuff together. So that's a big check mark finally on that.
Yeah. Do you guys get a lot out of that coaching stuff?
So I have just transitioned into coaching in the last year. And
that's probably about right.
And I Jason Trees by chance?
I heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had him on the podcast. We brought him on the podcast because he was Brandon Turner's personal coach for like a decade. Wow. And he's all about mindset. And so brought him on. Thought he was absolutely amazing. We started creating a friendship out of that. Brought him in Omaha. And after that, he's like, man, I was with his program already with one of his other coaches. As they came in, he goes, let's work together. So did that. It's been pretty life-changing. My biggest struggle though is like, I'm really good about having the intentions, getting things going, creating my goals and lists, but it takes a while to create those habits. Mm-hmm. And that's where I struggle because like maybe the kids are home from school and all my habits are changed. And so every summer it throws off everything I'm doing because my wife and my kids are home because my wife's a teacher.
Sure.
And right now I'm trying to like really on the struggle bus of getting up at 4:30 in the morning. Only did it like 2 times this week so I can not be going to the gym at 8:30 and then my whole day is starting late.
That sounds awful. No, I know. I'm asking like from a standpoint of like I see this a lot in like the real estate meetup groups and whether it's Omaha or Des Moines, the mentor thing and the coaching thing, and like I feel like that's something that like completely missed me for whatever reason. And like a lot of people seem to have mentors, a lot of people seem to do this coaching thing. I was just curious, like if it's, and you don't need to like crap on anybody, but like is it truly, you think it's worthwhile, like the coaching thing, the mentor thing? You get a lot of good insights out of it, and is it worth the money? Because I know some of them, like having a mentor, you pay them, right?
Well, it depends on your mentor. You have mentors you don't pay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
I mentor people and I don't get paid.
Are they a mentor? Are they like, how do you?
It's not like official.
Like, is it like proposing to somebody where you're like, "Will you be my mentor?"
Well, you know what I mean? You and Brad Bader proposed. Are you guys still doing that?
We're accountability buddies.
Accountability buddies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have kind of like mentors each other.
Yeah, that sounds solid. I mean, I don't know. I just was curious. Like, is there like an official like mentor mentee like? Is it like a contracted thing or like is it just like your friend?
Fair question.
You know what I mean?
I think unless it's like the Teammates program or something like that, that's more official, which they're a great organization. But like I've never paid for like a mastermind or like an actual business coaching. Although no, that's not true. I have paid for that, but not like a one-on-one. Like we've had team coaching and we'll do just like business coaching and stuff like that. We've done I'd say definitely for us that's been worth it. Traction. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of the EOS fundamentals implemented into our lending business, and that's been huge. So I'd say it depends. You have more experience on the individual stuff, and I have more experience maybe on the like business coaching.
I think you gotta look inside and see what you need. For me, I need accountability. I need somebody to report to it because a lot of times I'll find that meeting will be coming up and I don't like looking like a jackass or failing.
Sure.
So then I'm like running through all my shit, a day or two before to make sure that I'm got all my goals accomplished. So I don't feel like a loser when I'm coming to that meeting.
Yeah.
And I need that. And then there's things that have come up. And one thing, and I think I've mentioned this a couple of times before, but we'll restate it here. When we had that meeting is like, hey, what point in your life do you feel like you were the most successful? And so we looked at that point in my life. I was like, what were you doing at that point in your life that's different now? It's like, oh, I was going to bed earlier. I was getting to the gym at 4:30 in the morning consistently. I was writing out my goals, and I'm really, if I get my notepad and I create my goals and I'm checking things off, that's when I'm most successful. Where's your thinking place? Well, my thinking place is either in the sauna or the shower. Okay. So you need to make time for that, So those are the types of things that finding out where I was successful, focusing on it, putting a 21-day challenge to stick with it. And then also he looked at I create a vision board and create my year goals every December. It's just my thing I do. And he's like, okay, well, these are good. This is, usually I'm telling people to do this. He goes, let's just get real. He goes, why can't these goals be done in 90 days? How can we do that? So then it was like, oh, let's put it in your calendar. So each one of these goals, how much time do you need and how do you need? So we figured out how much time. So then it was like, we blocked out the hours. So the mastermind that we just threw became out of that.
Sure.
Amongst, a lot of other things too. And so I started time blocking it out, dedicate it, and then, we're getting stuff done. And then he's like, okay, so if you were to accomplish your whole year goals and you got every one of these things done, what's one thing on your vision board that you think is one of the hardest things to achieve for you this year? Well, I was like, well, the thing I want to do most is I want to take my family to Mexico for Christmas, and I don't want to buy presents. I want to create more experiences. Mm-hmm. So now as we're starting to get closer to goals, we're starting to now do experiences instead of gifts, because we're loading the cars up and just donating shit tons of stuff over to the Goodwill. Sure. And they don't remember any of that stuff. They don't remember the Taylor Swift jacket she never wore that she thought she had to have.
For sure.
That was $115 that we're giving away to somebody. I hope you enjoy it. But what memory can I create? And so this year it was like, hey, Skylar, for your birthday, what do you want to do? I want to ride roller coasters. So, we go to World's Fun Oceans Fun. She's going to remember that. And so those are important to me. And I think they're going to be important to the family as they start happening. But I need to change myself so that I can make those things work, and I'm not putting myself in a hole. And that these are things I'm winning because I'm accomplishing my goals, which is all leading back to the coaching that I'm getting.
Sure. That's interesting. The most important things I took out of that, honestly, were like, who's going to ask you those questions if they don't, I guess? Because like that, I would never think about like when you said, like, when were you your best and what were you doing at that time? I started like instantly thinking about that. I'm like, whoa. I mean, you can read books, you can do all these things, but who's going to, like, you probably would have never thought about that unless there's somebody literally there to do it. Same thing with, you never would have thought about, like, how can you just be more intentional with your time and stuff? And I don't know. I think about that a lot with myself right now, where I'm like, I feel like I'm just in crazy mode all the time because we're growing and I got a 9-month-old at home, and it's just every single day is just nuts. I just do not have enough time.
Your fight or flight, endorphins are flooding your system all day long.
Yeah.
Every day.
I mean, we just, like, before I was like an absolute yes man. I feel like we just started really pushing back on timelines for taking on properties too. Before I was like, oh, like, you want 30 days? Great. We'll hire people. We'll I'll just literally just, kill myself and make this happen because we have to have it. And we just finally pushed back on one where we're like, we want 2 months to be able to hire, to be able to set everything up, to be able to have all their ducks in a row and things like that. And
which you're going to earn more respect for.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not just going to be like a whipping boy, hopefully, but which I haven't really been. But I mean, I make myself into that sometimes, but like just pushing back to allow myself to have more time and allow myself to be more intentional is something that is tough because I just want to I live to please. I mean, I'm in a service-based business. My time is just everybody's if they want it right now. And we've just started kind of pushing back a tiny bit and saying, we're still obviously going to provide the best service, but we maybe have a timeline for taking on properties, maybe say we won't do this tomorrow. You know what I mean? But no, that's sweet to hear. Cause honestly, I don't know. When I see all this coaching stuff, you see the guy on Instagram where he's like, I'm like a Section 8 coach and here's the 3 ways to be a landlord. And they're like complete bullshit bullet points. And you're just like, that is nonsense. But no, I mean, those are,
you need to find what clicks for you too. Mm-hmm. I think if you find a coach that you want to work with, you probably should listen to some of their podcasts. You probably need to, if they have books and do a little investigation on them. On the flip side of that, there was an interesting point brought up yesterday and it's obvious, but it was better when he brought it up. But Andrew, I was on one of his coaching calls and he goes, the topic was mentors versus coaches. And this came up because Jason Dries is really pushing me to do a quote unquote coaching program. I'm like, Jason, I'm not a coach. I don't want to be a coach and I don't have time to really be a mentor. He goes, okay, well, be different than everybody else. And he goes, you're a connector. So be the person that creates a mastermind group where you're not necessarily the one teaching or coaching or mentoring. You're the one bringing the people in to educate the people on the topics they want to do. And that part sounded pretty interesting to me. And I'm not saying I'm doing it, but it's something on the back of my head. And then Andrew goes, Coaches are going to lead you to where you need to be. They're going to let you answer all the questions. It's in your head. And so they're going to continuously push you and lead you, but you're the one choosing what you need to be. A mentor is a person that's holding your hand the whole time and telling you what you should do. And you're not really learning so much per se, is how he put it. And I thought that was it was a little impactful to me and it stuck with me.
I feel like you need to be thrown in the deep end. So to your point of like getting your hand hold, like I feel like the thing that made us better is getting thrown in the deep end and having to figure out every single thing about how to like kind of from scratch. And we didn't really totally because my mom was there, but no, I know what you mean. Because I look at other people where I have some buddies or just some people I know who are in family businesses as well, where the first generation is still there and they're in their 30s or 40s. And they're working in it, but they still have the first generation. It's like, well, what happens when the first generation finally decides to give the reins up? And lets them go? It's like, well, you're going to figure out all this shit at like 45. Like that's scary as hell. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather just get thrown in the deep end and like either drowned or like swim to the wall. Like,
well, they're playing a mentor role the whole time.
Sure. But more, they're playing a mentor role the whole time, not the coaching role.
Yeah. I do like the thought that, and it certainly kicked you in the butt to get moving on some things where you make annual goals. And he's like, well, these are 90-day goals. And I know myself, and I was always this way ever since I was a kid. School was really easy to me, and I would just wait until the very last minute to study, and I'd cram, and I could get an A. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's also carried over into other like business related stuff where you give me 2 weeks to do something, and I'll get it done in 2 weeks. You give me 2 days to do that same thing, and I'll get it done in 2 days. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's so it kind of like your motivation increases the closer you get to the goal or the deadline.
For sure.
Yeah, so I think shortening goal times is it can be impactful. But
pretty much all the content that got wrote up for the mastery event happened in the last 48 hours.
Yeah, that's true. That was great, man. That was a good one. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy Wednesday's episode. But I think I'm going to post date a golden nugget here, Ted.
Ooh.
Yeah, and call this whole section on mindset that you guys just shared your little TED talk on.
Oh,
yeah, that's today's
golden nugget.
There you go.
And he's like, "What's going on here?
Yeah,
what's been going on with you?
Oh, okay.
We haven't talked much about you,
Ted. You know what really grinds my gears?
Oh, we love the grinds the gears section. It's gonna become more popular.
Jury duty.
Oh, I love jury duty.
Have you ever?
Yes.
How many times have you served?
Seriously, I haven't been called up in over 20 years, but I've been called up 6+ times, and I've served once.
Yeah, actually, that's the same as me.
Yeah.
I'm like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It seems like clockwork. I get those when it's like the most inconvenient time. But, what about you, Andy?
I've done it once, and I tried to.
Were you on the jury?
No, they wouldn't let me be on it. I don't know what I said. They asked me a bunch of questions, like, "You're good to go," and I was like, "Wait, really?" I was like, because I thought it was gonna be some kind of part of a big murder trial or something, and I was like, I want to be on.
Oh man, it's too bad you didn't exactly document what you said, and then you could sell it on Amazon. You could just be like, "Get out of jury free." Just pretend you're Andy.
I have some stuff you could probably get out of it with. We got to talk about it offline,
right? Yeah, 7 times I think I've had to report in or whatever, and I had to actually go in 3 of those 7, but I was picked once, but I was the foreman or the chair. What do you call it? Foreman of the jury, where you got to like read the stuff and do all that. God. Yeah, and it was that sucked. It was
sounds appropriate for you.
It was like 4 days. Yeah. They had to bring in. It was a car accident, and they were arguing there was a pre-existing condition, and they had brought in this like biometric engineer that recreated the whole like impact angle and the speed and everything else. It was super interesting. Like I was pretty into it actually.
That is kind of sweet. I was like 20. I was in college, so I was like, yeah, I want to do jury duty because I'm gonna get out of class.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like that's a great excuse not to go to class. Now that sounds like a nightmare.
Oh yeah, and then it's like I was working at Conagra at the time, and so I had to take like 4 days off work. I'm assuming fully paid, but then you get your $16 in the mail from serving jury duty. It's like a school lunch is what they think people are paying for every day. Anyway, that's what really grinds my gears.
Mine was a week.
It was a full week. Was it something like interesting, like a murder?
Mine was crazy. It was 2 crackheads, and they broke up. She went to her parents' house in West Omaha. Crackhead boyfriend broke into the house, but we couldn't prove that he broke in. That was one charge we couldn't get him. Broke into the house, her for multiple days, kept her tied up in the basement.
Oh man.
Oh god.
And just beat the living crap out of her. It was terrible. And then robbed the house.
Yeah.
And then the evidence was there and everything. So that was bad. But it was even more interesting because this guy, the crackhead guy, decided to be his own attorney.
Oh, jeez.
And so, I mean, at one point,
it's a bold strategy, Cotton.
At one point, they like restrained him. It got so crazy. Like
Dang,
he was like getting up in her face. She was like freaking out. I don't know how that was allowed. And so like there was never a dull moment in court because this guy didn't know what he was doing, and he wanted he's like object, and like and then they had explained to him all the rules all the time, and I mean,
did they let you bring popcorn?
No, it was a circus, man.
That's one of those stories where it just goes bad immediately. When you started telling me that, like I like you instantly started like she got raped. It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like I remember this one time we were in Vegas and there was this random security guard and we were like, we had a kind of lot to drink and we were just like, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen here? And like, I was expecting him to say like, I saw somebody win $1 million. And he was like, oh, this like guy who's like a regular here got like beat to death and he like died in my arms, like outside. And I was just like, oh my God.
You're like, oops.
Pick a different story to tell people. It's like my night just got sad.
You're like, okay, so I'm just here to check in.
I saw a girl jump on a homeless guy and have sex on the street. Pretty girl jump on a guy and have sex with him on the street in Vegas.
Wow.
Just right in front of everybody.
Was this recently? Have you guys heard Vegas is like kind of going, or everyone's
That was
saying
like-
Vegas is kind of dead now.
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Everyone's saying that Vegas is like, they're not getting the traffic they used to. And
Oh
It's
yeah,
economy.
makes sense.
The situation went out there.
I think that too, but I think it's also like you can gamble in the shower now. Like you can literally why do you need to go to Las Vegas to gamble? Like my DGen buddies are like, they're gambling every second of every day on their phone.
Oh yeah,
Like
with
they're-
sports betting and all
Or
that
even
stuff.
blackjack. They're playing blackjack.
Oh, really?
They're playing like roulette on their phone and like those online casinos. And like Vegas too, like it's so expensive. Like I remember when I was in college and we used to go, it was like you could play like $5 a hand blackjack or whatever. Now it's like $25. It's like I want to have a good time. I don't want to get like murked by the casino. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I don't know. I've just heard that it's not doing super hot. It's interesting if like the online gambling thing's killing it, the high prices, all that stuff.
Well, we went and we just played craps the whole time, and
That's what you need to do. That's the
We did a lot more than just play craps.
the funny part is that it was just like a few months ago. We went for Owen's 50th. A few of us went to Vegas, and I'm like going through some stuff that I had in my closet. I'm like, oh, here's a $500 chip to the casino.
Yeah, you're such an idiot.
Because at one point, I mean, I've never played craps before until I did one time, I guess, before. But at one point, I was up several thousands of dollars.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm like storing them in a little pocket in my jeans.
The key phrase there is at one point.
At one point,
There's always at one point.
that was a great time.
Yeah,
It
craps is a blast. That's
Yeah.
the only game I really enjoy at the casino because it's like a group effort.
Same.
Like blackjack, you just get murdered. I don't know how to play baccarat. Slots is like a scam. Like
If you're gonna play that on your phone, I just don't feel like the odds are against you. It doesn't. There's no.
Oh, for
doesn't-
sure.
that-
No,
that
you're-
natural ability to win.
well, you're like you guys know the term like DGen now. It's going around on the internet. I feel like the term DGen is like a gambling addict,
Oh,
basically.
like
So if you-
degenerate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
degenerate,
okay.
exactly. So but it's really kind of like slotted itself into like that online gambling addict, where it's like a dude who like the day his paycheck hits, he literally gambles it all on like online blackjack, or like he's betting on like a soccer game happening in China at like 3 a.m. because his paycheck hit at midnight and he has to gamble at that. I mean, I've noticed on social media too, like all the reels and stuff, like there's so much about gambling now.
Huh.
Like
because you're watching them.
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't even gamble. Like I really, if I go to the casino, I bring $300. I like intentionally, like I literally play till I
Leave
lose
your
it.
wallet in the car or
Well,
something.
not
like
even that. I don't care that
Yeah.
much. But it's like I literally go and I play till I lose it because I kind of want to lose it because it's I just want to play it out and have a good time. But it's crazy how much stuff is out there. And you're right. It's probably because I'm watching. Yeah. I have like a slightly funny story, I guess. I'm not going to say when this happened or who the group was, but I got this.
As all good stories
Yeah.
start.
We get all these, it happened recently. We get all these crazy property management inquiries all the time. And it's always from a random group from out of town because they're out of state. They're looking for property management. And this group called me randomly and was like, hey, we're looking at a building in Omaha. It's off market. We want to talk about management. So I gave them the whole spiel. They were like, that's great. Let's talk. So we go and meet with them. And talking to a guy, he's an older guy. They're out of the West Coast, and we're going through the whole thing, and we're having a great conversation, whatever. And he's asking me a ton of questions about Omaha, and it's a great time, whatever. And I'm walking him through one of our downtown properties, Kensington, and just kind of showing him the whole thing. And the guy starts talking to all these different deals, and he's like, "Well, do you ever have anything you like want a JV on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just like, to be honest, dude, like we don't really." I didn't know who he was. I was like, "We don't really partner on anything. Like if we don't have to, like I got enough problems with like management. Like I'll be your management guy 100%." And I have no idea who this guy is at this point in time because like when I say we get calls all the time and I meet people all the time, I meet a ton of people who come out of like those masterminds where They just came out. They have absolutely no idea about anything besides the mastermind they just did, and they're trying to syndicate like 150 unit property.
Is this the guys that came out that CHI one?
Did you get? No, this was.
I got been bombarded with people that went to that CHI event.
Yeah.
What, Tim Tebow?
Oh yeah.
Bombarded. And when I say it, I have 1 8-unit listed for sale, and I thought it was a hoax because I had like at this point now probably between 12 and 14 offers that all came at the exact same price, all on the same offer sheet, because they have their standard formulas and their standard sheets. And I thought I was being spammed. So I'm like, these are all spam. They're all exactly the same price, which is a really odd number. And then all of a sudden, calls started coming in. I'm like, hey, did you get your offers? I'm like, I got 12 of them, and they're all the same. And they're like, oh, probably other people in our class.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's literally that. I mean, that's what happens. Like you get these people that come out of the woodwork. They're like, I'm trying to buy this 150 unit property. And then they're like, can you help me with underwriting? Like, I don't understand. There's like market rent and there's rent. Which one is like what's getting charged? And you're just like, oh no, like you don't buy this property. Like you're out of your mind. Like whoever's going to give you money is out of their mind. But anyway, regardless, I
mean, that's insane though. Can you imagine just like going to a mastermind about restaurant ownership and then you come out and you're just like, hey, I want to buy a restaurant, but I don't know anything about how much food costs or how much I can sell it for. That's the equivalent of what it is. You're buying a business.
I always steer them towards like, hey, buy a single family house, figure out the mechanics of how this works. Buy like a fourplex yourself before you go and borrow other people's money. Whatever, I shouldn't be giving financial advice, but that's usually what I tell them. But this has shaped me into like when I go into these meetings, I'm just kind of like, okay, yep. I give them the whole spiel like they're anybody else. But anyway, so this guy's talking about deal size. He's like, we're looking anywhere from 50 to 120 mil in deal size. And I'm like, okay, yep, sounds good, man. Like everybody says that or whatever. So I'm talking to him in Kensington, have a really great conversation. He's about to jump on a plane and go home, but he's like, hey, next time I'm back, let's grab drinks. And I was like, for sure. So I go back to my office because I'm going to hook him up with some broker connections too. And I wanted to look him up first to make sure he's for real. Turns out the guy is worth $2.7 billion. And he's one of the biggest developers out on the West Coast. He owns like high rises in like New York City.
Holy cow.
And like Manhattan or whatever. And I'm just like, I was talking to Alex about it afterwards. And Alex was like, didn't that guy say he wanted to JV? And I was just like, yeah, I told him to fuck off. I was like, he also was talking about like, I was just like, oh my God, like, what a dude. So,
we got to do research more on.
Oh my God.
We got to maybe look the people up a little bit harder before we go do the walk versus afterwards.
That might pay off a little bit though in the end.
Alex was like, well, you told him no, so like maybe that'll help. And like that's why I don't want to say who it was or when it was. Hopefully he might listen to this podcast. You never know. Yeah. But I was just like, oh my God, we should put like a little tape square of like a billionaire stood here. He's like the 320th richest person in the United States. It's like, or in the world or whatever. I was just like, wow, we had like a top 500 like organism on Earth in our building.
That's insane. And you had no idea.
No,
you're like, look, bro, I don't really partner with people. Okay, we don't need it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good, man. I got my shit figured out. It's like he's like, no problem, man. He's a super nice dude, super gracious. You know what the crazy thing was that was really interesting to me is he toured so many buildings when he was in Omaha. Like he was talking about every single building he toured downtown. He was talking about all these buildings he toured Midtown, out west, that weren't for sale. Just literally said like, hey, I want to rent an apartment. Just pretended to be a renter and was walking through all these units because he wanted to see what pricing was, what the other competition looked like.
Yeah.
Smart.
So he was walking all of these buildings. He just drilled me for like an hour on like every single thing I knew about the Omaha market. His phone probably also rang like 90 times while we were like while we were there.
Gross.
I mean, just like was like on repeat. And I was like, dang, I thought I got a lot of calls. And I was like, well, they're probably just people who got his number and just want to talk to him or whatever. He probably change phones all the time. Yeah. So I told that guy to fuck off mistakenly. And, but no, it's just, I thought it was funny. Like it's an interesting story. Like from a standpoint of like, I never thought one of those dudes would like, find us. And he didn't call me originally, his team called me, but I never thought somebody like that would just call our office off Google and be like, hey, I want property management services. I want to talk or whatever and meet. But cool guy. I'm going to try to get a drink with him when he comes back.
That is cool.
Yeah. And then
text me and Ted and we'll just sit over there in the corner.
I'll bring the whole rat pack.
We'll see if he wants to be we'll see if he wants to be on the podcast.
The entourage. He's our ringleader in the entourage.
Yeah, I'll bring the whole rat pack and we'll just drill this guy with questions. How do you do this? How do you do that?
I think we've had 3 billionaires on the podcast.
That's
over the
crazy.
We have?
Yep.
There's not that many billionaires. There's like, I mean, that you've had like, I think there's like 1,200 billionaires in the world. You've had like I don't know. That's not even 1%, but still, it's like a lot.
Yeah, I had no idea. Huh.
That's crazy.
Buffett's next.
Good for you guys.
Wouldn't it be cool to have Buffett?
Yeah.
Just to have that conversation.
Actually,
I don't know if we got much time left.
Yeah, another really quick. I'll tell the story really fast. I got into road rage with Warren Buffett like a week ago.
What? What?
Yeah.
This sounds made up.
So
Keep going.
I got into it.
Keep going.
And by road rage, I mean like
This is what the real estate rundown's all about right here.
by road rage, I mean I got super pissed off, and so so I'm driving up Farnham. I'm leaving a property we manage around 30th and Farnham, and I'm driving up west. And when you get kind of towards the Blackstone Tower, there's like all that construction, and it goes
crazy.
It goes down to one lane. So he's coming out on probably like 34th or 30th.
Because his office is still on the top there.
Yeah. He's basically trying. It was right across from the KETV. He's trying to cross to go to the garage. I just see this old kind of beat up Cadillac and this guy with like a suit that looks like a robot driving. And he's like in the middle of the intersection, just stopped. And I'm like on my way to a meeting and like just being a jackass, and I'm like honking, and I'm like, hey dude, what's going on? I'm like putting my hands up. I wasn't like yelling or anything, but I'm just like, what are you doing? And all of a sudden the guy driving it kind of smirks, and he turns like towards me parallel to come at me, then to take a right into the garage. And Warren Buffett's sitting in the passenger seat, and he has this huge grin on his face, and he just waves at me. And I just looked at him, and I was just like, huh? Like my mouth is just wide open, and I kind of waved back and was like goofy ass smile, like, and then he just rolls into the garage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And so I was like, the first thing I did was called my mom, and I was like, I just honked at Warren Buffett.
Hey, pissing off billiards one at a time. Andy Corey, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know.
That's great.
I was just shooting the breeze with somebody the other day, and they're like, "Oh, we were going to go to the Terrence Crawford fight," and they're like, "We're friends with him," and I'm like, "I'd love to get him on the podcast."
He's a real estate dude.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'd love to get him on the podcast, talk about real estate. I'm sure he's never been interviewed specifically on that topic, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll reach out and see what I can do." They're like, that his business coach is Warren Buffett. He's like Warren's has been helping him with all his real estate stuff, and he's been his business mentor now for the last few years.
That's interesting. Warren's not really a real estate guy.
So
I'm sure he could mentor on anything he wants to, but
Warren is his personal business mentor.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That was the first I heard that.
There's another dude in Omaha. You guys know who Sterling Anderson is?
Mm-hmm.
I met with him like 4 years ago. He's like a Grant Cardone dude. Like, he used to have a TV show on Grant Cardone's network. I know nothing about Sterling. He was a really nice dude. We had like lunch once, but yeah, he was like, he like dropped that, like Grant Cardone was his mentor. And I was like, what? And then like he used to have a show called like the Sterling Report. When Grant Cardone was trying to build up like a TV network, he had like his own little like slot where he had a show where he talked about something and about real estate.
Wow. I had no idea.
He was like legitimately like baked in, or probably maybe still is. I don't know. I don't know anything about Sterling, but
our podcast would be perfect right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take that spot.
The Sterling Report meets REIA Radio.
Cool. All right, man, this is fun. I like having a third member of the crew here to bounce stuff off of. So
cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Well, we're going to reach out to Chris and Colin and
Jerry
and we have one more. Wyatt.
Yep.
Yeah, those people aren't that busy. They should be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of busy, we'll get you guys back to your Monday, but thanks for tuning in to the
Real Estate Rundown
with Andy and Aiden over there
with
off
Owen
to the side.
With Owen
and Ted.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Sign off.
With Owen Dashner, I say with.
Oh, so I say with Owen Dashner?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
You'll just say Owen Dashner.
So I just say Owen
that's your
Dashner.
line. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I need to hold up a line?
Yeah, kind of. I might forget.
Oh, that's why we can hit record and erase.
How's your headphones? Sound good?
Yeah, I can hear everything.
Okay.
Is he going to say with then, and then I'm going to say Owen Dashner?
Yeah, I'll say with Andy Corey.
And you'll say Owen Dashner, and I'll say and Ted Kosh. Thank you.